and the emotions of knowing or figuring out who you are, even if your daughter's not in the home at that moment, and figuring.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to True Wives Stories and thumbs up this video. Truly Brown, the daughter of Christine and Kody from Sister Wives, has stunned followers with a dramatic makeover. While she's not on social media herself, Christine has given followers an update on her life, and recent snaps have shown just how tall and different Truly is now. Truly has long been famous for her personality and sense of humor, but her recent appearance is a more mature, composed version. From her wardrobe to her demeanor, she's coming into a new era and fans are paying attention now. Truly resides with Christine and David in Utah. Truly was shy with David at first, particularly while Christine was just dating, but Truly has come to adore David. Christine has explained how David has become a positive, strong influence in Truly's life. Their family portraits depict a warm, developing relationship, and numerous fans have even commented David is already more supportive and present than Kody had ever been. Christine recently shared about a family vacation to Big Rock Candy Mountain. She confessed she had only heard of the destination from a song, but it was a memorable outing. What really caught notice, however, was Truly's transformation. Some viewers didn't even recognize her. Others remarked on how tall and how big girl she appeared. It's obvious that she's walking confidently into young adulthood. Encouraging remarks spilled in from fans, complimenting Truly's development and wishing her good fortune. Numerous people said they had missed seeing her in past seasons and that she adds a special light and spark to the show. But nothing has been all happy. Off camera, Christine has apparently sought child support from Kody, an action that fueled even more drama. Most had already picked up on how awkward Kody and Truly appeared on air. Their exchanges were stilted, and many think Kody never connected with her or Christine's other kids. The child support filing allegedly prompted an intense response from Kody, which became particularly apparent in the season 19 tell-all. His irritation might have been more related to guilt or loss than anything else. As season 19 progressed, the cracks in the structure of the Brown family became irrefutable. Kody ultimately confessed that he had a favorite wife, shattering the illusion of equal love between the sister wives. And after the devastating loss of Garrison Brown, the emotional depth of the season was created anew. One primary source of tension involved Janelle Brown, long considered the family budgeter. Janelle admitted she felt she had lost control of her own finances. Money was being taken from joint accounts without explanation, and Janelle reported that resentment grew over time. Kody vehemently denied wrongdoing, saying the money was necessary for all his homes and that Janelle did not need to know about every expenditure. Nevertheless, most of the fans took Janelle's side and believed her to be the most down-to-earth and honest member of her family. Another big moment came when Meri Brown spoke openly about her feelings toward Robyn. Meri had long been supportive of Robyn, even when the other wives weren't. But during a confessional, Meri admitted her kindness didn't pay off. She was hurt when Kody compared his wives and expressed a wish for them to be more like Robyn. Meri said bluntly, "We're all supposed to be Robyn," expressing years of bottled-up pain and frustration. Now, the Brown family is staring at a future full of uncertainty. Families have been broken, trust has been broken, and new beginnings have begun to take place. At the center of it all is Truly Brown, a young woman who keeps growing, shining, and inspiring amidst all the drama in the family. Keep reading for more about the Sister Wives family. There's plenty more to come. Hello all. Welcome back to the channel. And before we get into today's compelling story, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy hearing about updates from the Sister Wives family. Let's talk about Truly Brown Christine and Kody's youngest daughter and the transformation that has left fans stunned. Though she doesn't have a social media presence herself, Christine has kept followers updated. And what we're seeing now is a young woman emerging from childhood with grace, style, and strength. Gone is the mischievous little girl in rainbow-colored tights and oversized hats. In their place is a peaceful, glowing young woman. Truly's transformation has been sensational, both in looks and maturity. And the most recent family photos? They don't merely depict a teenager, they unveil a confident young woman embracing her own self, living with her mom Christine and Christine's husband, David Woolley, in Utah nowadays. Truly has settled into a new era of family life at peace and at ease. At first, she was shy around David, but she's gotten to know him better over time. David has been a constant, supportive figure. Christine says something Truly hadn't experienced with Kody. Several fans have even commented that David is warmer and more engaged than Kody ever was. It's a subtle but strong change, considering the tension viewers witnessed between Kody and his kids on the show during a recent family vacation to Big Rock Candy Mountain. Christine posted adorable pictures of their outing, but the thing that really got people's attention was Truly herself. She appeared different, taller, more poised, and indisputably grown up. People poured into the comments with compliments, referring to her as glowing, graceful, and beautiful. One even commented, "She's a whole new person." As Truly grows up, so does her sense of style. Gone are the wild prints and matching accessories. They have been replaced by a more grounded palette and layered elegance. But what never wavers is her singular spark. She retains that interior flame, witty, genuine, and a bit naughty that originally won people over. But while Truly glows, the rest of the Brown family struggles with harsher truths. Meri Brown had one of her most emotional moments on the show this season when she finally confronted the truth. She was never going to be Robyn. "I'm Meri," she said, "and I'm not going to be Robyn. I'm going to be myself." After years of trying to stay loyal, she realized she had been sidelined, used, and emotionally abandoned. And with that came a bold decision. She walked away from Kody for good. Meanwhile, Kody Brown finally confessed what viewers had long suspected. Robyn was always his first love. He broke every rule for her even prior to the time they exchanged wedding vows, sneaking kisses, picking out her dress, and putting her needs ahead of everyone else's. His favoritism was no longer rumor, it became reality. One of the most surprisingly symbolic moments was something as innocent as a luggage rack. While the other wives' bags remained on the ground, Robyn's were neatly put away on the rack. It sounds small, but it told us everything. Robyn herself was surprised when she was asked if she knew how much that irritated the others. Her nonchalant answer, "I don't know. Maybe I just put mine there first." That sort of unbothered privilege only widened the gap. And as the adults wrestled with betrayal and brokenness, it's the next generation like Truly who are figuring out how to bend, to heal, and to expand. Once a reserved, introverted child who trailed behind older siblings, Truly is a wise, expressive teenager, forging her own way. Her transformation has amazed longtime viewers not only because of how much she's matured, but because of how self-assured and emotionally aware she's become. Now well away from the cameras and the commotion, she resides in a serene Utah valley. Her mother, Christine, provides occasional glimpses into their lives, picnics, hikes, goofy car rides, and, with each update, she unfolds as a young woman emerging with self-confidence. David Woolley, Christine's boyfriend, has been a big part of that change. Truly was naturally reticent to let someone new into her life at first. But David didn't try to push his way, and he won her over by just being there, by being present, by laughing, listening, and doing the little things that count. He became a stepfather, but eventually more than a stepfather, he became a father figure. The stability and love in this new house is apparent. Truly's formerly reserved expressions have relaxed. Her voice possesses more steadiness. Her stance is proud. She appears supported. She appears safe. And most tellingly of all, she appears happy. So whereas the Brown family's history is that of fractures, this much is certain. Truly Brown is emerging from it all. Not shattered, but brilliant. Tune in with us for more dive backs into the lives behind Sister Wives, because these tales aren't merely reality TV. They're about resilience, growth, and choosing love. Even when it's difficult. Narrator warm, reflective, between her serene present and the strained, broken relationships of her past. Truly Brown's life speaks a tale of quiet strength. Her father, once the invincible head of the family, has experienced a deep collapse in his relationship with her and many of his children. What had started as subtle favoritism towards one wife and her children began to become an emotional wedge, one too deep to overlook, even on tape. They could tell speech between Kody and some of his children was stilted. Forced, hugs were awkward. Chemistry was absent. For real, like her brothers, could sense it. In recent interviews, Kody expressed frustration at the way he's been presented. He said some of the relationships alienated the kids from him, that he'd been misunderstood. But the fans have made their own assumptions from what they've seen play out. Because for many, his bodily presence wasn't ever equaled by emotional presence. Some of the most hurtful memories weren't of huge battles, but of the consistent, low-grade dismissal of the kids' emotional needs, particularly when conflict between adults was paramount. And then there were the legal documents Christine filing for child support. For some, it was a resounding move toward defending Truly. For others, it represented just how far things had fallen apart. Either way, it drew another line in the sand between two individuals who had long ago stopped sharing the same vocabulary. And yet, against all this, Truly is thriving. She is not characterized by estrangement or resentment, but by the love that now envelops her. Her mother, Christine, has taken it upon herself to provide a safe, caring environment where her children feel seen, valued, and protected. That effort is reaping rewards. David Woolley, Truly's stepfather, has built upon that groundwork, not with sweeping gestures, but with something stronger: reliability. He didn't attempt to fill the space. He simply was there, day after day. Hikes, dinner with the family, jokes on the way to the car, small gestures that create giant trust. And somewhere along the way in the middle, Truly's defenses fell. The reserved, observing girl has emerged, quietly, assured, and all on her own terms. Even without social media, her tale still resonates. Viewers who used to watch her totter through living rooms and cracked driveways now regard her as an emblem of healing, of transformation, and of a future free from the errors of the past. But Truly's transformation is just a single strand in the unraveling of the Sister Wives fabric. Season by season, the viewers followed the Browns through their unconventional family dynamics. What started as an altruistic, if complex, exercise in plural marriage deteriorated gradually, one hurt, one betrayal at a time. This latest season was a watershed. And not another installment, but the start of the end. 3 defining moments, true, raw, and profoundly emotional, came to the fore. Moments that removed years of courteous smiles and performance-facilitated harmony. The second, a financial scandal that destroyed years of trust. The second wife, who was famous for her level head and rational way of thinking, along with being the family's unofficial accountant, had long been the one to keep the family finances afloat, budgeting, saving, taking care of things. She was the behind-the-scenes force behind the family's survival. But in a stunning reunion interview, the story was turned upside down. Kody indicated financial mismanagement, possibly embezzlement. The allegations weren't subtle. Her reply? Fierce but controlled. She explained matter-of-factly she had never had real control over her own finances, something that had once been a joint. Open process had turned into secrecy and uncertainty. Money vanished, bills remained unpaid, and when she cried out for explanations, she was met with deflection but not accountability. Kody said he owed money to many, not only her, but to television viewers. His explanation was empty. The man who once preached about fairness and honor had, possibly irrevocably, shattered the faith that enabled plural marriage to exist. In all this chaos, one thing shines through: the strength of the younger generation. Kids who grew up in a generation of communal living rooms and broken rules are now creating their own identities. And truly Brown, she's leading quietly, without fanfare, without filters, just growing into someone strong, wise, and whole. A reminder to us all: the most powerful stories don't always come from the loudest voices. They come from those who choose healing over hurt, peace over performance, and truth over tradition. She had faith that love shared would be love multiplied, that breaking the marriage circle open would cause unity, not solitude. She alone, the first wife, gratefully welcomed the newest wife with open arms publicly. She tolerated her, but she sacrificed for her. She divorced her husband officially so that he could lawfully marry the fourth wife. It was an act of grace, done in hope. But with time, that hope became hollow. Where she had hoped for sisterhood, she received only silence. Where she had given loyalty, she was met with distance. And gradually, agonizingly, she came to see there was no room for her in the new landscape. The woman she had stood up for became the embodiment of all that had been lost. And the husband she had stood by for decades of devotion no longer saw her. Not really. In a raw moment of reunion, the first wife faced the truth she'd kept buried for too long: that she could never be enough for a man who'd already settled on someone else. That attempting to become Robyn in appearance, in personality, in function was never going to succeed. With quiet strength, she lastly spoke: "I'm not going to be Robyn. I'm going to be myself. I don't want to be her." It was a resurrection of the spirit, a moment of realization. And the start of her emotional departure. But perhaps the most poignant moment of the season was not in a scream, but in a quiet admission, one that validated everyone's long-held suspicion. Kody Brown's loyalty, his heart had never belonged to anyone else. He told us so, not with shame, not with theatrics, just plain resignation, as if it had always been the case, and perhaps it had. 4 years. The warning signs were there: secret kisses before marriage, a wedding that was different from all the others' rules bent, and then shattered completely while the others lived a secret life. And when teen mostly unnoticed, Robyn was put on a pedestal. The imbalance wasn't just there, it was never supposed to be. Even the little things told the truth. A baggage rack, a literal luggage stand, became the emblem of it all. Whereas the other wives dropped their bags to the floor, Kody always used the rack for himself. When questioned about it, Robyn matter-of-factly conceded she used it too. She wasn't not aware. She was just detached, and that stung more than the preference itself. With the reunion in progress, each wife sat across the host, faces strained, eyes fatigued. The second wife, who had been long regarded as the family's rational center, imparted a deeply intimate truth. She described emotional cycles, of fervent passion and icy remoteness. She named it what it was: emotional manipulation. It left her uncertain, second-guessing herself, yearning for a connection that happened only when he desired it to. And even now that she could see the pattern, escaping wasn't simple. Because love doesn't stop with a choice. Because children, memories, and shared history don't disappear. But with clarity and courage, she chose her cell phone by one. The illusions fell. The family portrait that had once promised unity now showed fractures. Gone were the carefully constructed images of harmony. In their place, real people hurting, healing, and moving on. Each woman now has her own reckoning. Each child, their own understanding. And Kody? He stands in the shadow of the choices he made. But in all this pain, there's growth, there's resilience. And for many, including Truly Brown, there's finally peace. Thanks for watching. If you've been keeping up with the journey and felt these moments with all your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more news on the Brown family and their changing stories. New drops every day. See you soon.